So from eRes, this is called the Groups online portal. Just before I show that on eRes, just going to bring up RoomKey and show you where this portal information can be enabled or managed. Back here in the Groups module, so I'll select Operations and Groups. When we set up the eRes page and the group code for group guests, you'll notice that I also have the ability to set up a username and password. Here, I've just used a generic password, just password. So when you create a group code, you can also create that portal access at the same time. Now, you don't have to do this. You don't have to give the portal access, but it is a really helpful tool to pass on to anyone who is coordinating or overseeing the group block itself. So once you have the username and password, you can give that information to the group coordinator, or in this case, you might give it to the bride and groom overseeing having the wedding. And when they open or navigate to your eRes page, in the top right-hand corner, there is a Groups button. They can click on Groups, and this is actually going to redirect them to a group portal where they will be asked for their group ID and password. So I'm going to enter in that group ID and password that I created in RoomKey. Select Login. And here I can see some key pieces of information about this specific group. So this is the block information where I can see details about the group name, arrival and departure dates, contact information, and I can also see how many rooms are in the block and what room types. So it does show my different room types listed here, and at the very bottom I can see how many rooms are remaining in the block and how many rooms have been picked up. Now, I do have some guests that have booked outside of the block, so that's why I do have some rooms picked up without availability. So that can happen sometimes if you're giving any complimentary rooms, maybe a bridal suite or a get-ready suite in the case of a wedding event like this. If I scroll back up to the top of the page, I can also view a list of reservations that have already been made. So if I'm the bride and I'm reviewing this list of reservations, I might want to make sure that all of my guests that I've invited have gone ahead and booked. If there's any guests that are missing from this reservation list, I know that I can go follow up with them. So if I've got an uncle who hasn't booked yet, I can make sure to remind him that he needs to book his reservation for the wedding. Lastly, there's also the option to add a note or an attachment. So if I'm the bride, I might want to add a little salutation or a little thank you note for making their reservation that they would receive when they make their booking. The other thing that I can do is upload an attachment, like maybe a PDF that shows the itinerary for the event. I can upload that, and when the guest books their reservation, they would receive a copy of that itinerary or that attachment alongside their confirmation letter. So really helpful tool here for group coordinators. Again, it is optional, so maybe depending on the types of groups that are staying at your property, not every group would use this groups portal, but it is available from the eRes booking engine just by clicking on that groups button at the top right-hand corner.